Alexa, turn off alarm. Okay, sorry about that. my Alexa's was going off. How do you like that? Oh my goodness. Yes, sorry about that. Anyways, welcome. I have to go to work in a couple hours, but before I go to work, man, a lot of shenanigans were going down today. A little bit of tomfoolery, I think, has been going on. I'm going to be the first. Well, I'm not the first, but I'm going to be one of the first to call shenanigans that I straight up is just going to say it at this point. Katie Joy absolutely lied about having a source in the Chrisley Knows Best production team. I'm just going to straight out say it. Now, here's the thing. I did notice that Nikki38 did have a stream a few minutes ago. It ended about 13 minutes ago. I wasn't able to make it, so I apologize for that. I usually watch most of her stuff when it's live. But anyways, I want to see if she actually agrees with some of the things I kind of gleaned about all this. So she says, I just got done with my live. I'm still laughing at this clown. Yeah. I have a feeling you probably said exactly what I'm about to say. So let's run through this real quick. So there was a hearing yesterday. Most of us that were interested in listening to it were listening to the call. And then last night I had made some kind of like predictions and things that I've said, and I got some little pushback on it. Hashtag Steve was right. And one of the things I said was that, yeah, she doesn't have a source. Now, interestingly enough, Todd Chrisley on his Twitter line today straight up said, let me just share it. How about I do that? We just will share it. You know, it's gold. It's comedy gold. He says, no, see, CKP, by the way, is Chrisley Knows Best. No Chrisley Knows Best source. Doesn't remember the source name or number they supposedly called from. Clown. Now, that's some top shelf BS. Yeah, so here's the thing what she told the attorneys, and this is what I told you guys yesterday, that she told them that she doesn't have a name or a number. Now, that could obviously be one of two things. One, she never got a name or a number, or that she doesn't remember that she a name or number. Now, both of them are completely implausible, right? Well, the second one is completely implausible. First one is probably more likely. She didn't have a source, right? So if she would have had a source, she would have had some name. I mean, to tell Todd Chrisley's team that she doesn't remember the name of a source, I mean, come on. That's just, how dumb do you think that these lawyers have to be to buy into that, right? I mean, you're supposedly a journalist, supposedly a reporter, but you don't get the name of a source. Come on. Like, really? Does anybody believe that besides, her stands? Besides the Unifam idiots in the world, who actually believes that? Because I don't think anybody does. I mean, you have to be absolutely a moron to believe that she would have such an insider information from the show Chrisley Knows Best, but not remember the name and the number. And it wasn't Lindsay. As I told you last night, people in the live chat were like, oh, her source is Lindsay. She's already said so. Nope. I told you that was BS last night. It was not Lindsay. Matter of fact, somebody reminded me that she actually was putting out stuff about the blackmail well before TMZ and Dr. Phil was even talking about it. So she was talking about it before those shows even aired. I remember that. I think was it Michelle? I think that reminded me of that. Whoever it was, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, that I do recall that now. So Todd Chrisley is straight up saying she lied. She's just, there's no source. It's not just she didn't remember the name of the thing, right? I mean, he's just saying straight up she had no source, and that's my take as well. She lied about having a source. We already knew that. I mean, we already knew that. We knew that she makes things up. She always says she has a source, and source ends up being Reddit, the Ashley, Star, or just right out of her ass, right? So yeah, I think at this point, don't you think it's conclusive? We could just say, okay, yeah, she lied about having a source. Now what does that mean? Well, that means that Todd Chrisley, who also said he's going full steam ahead, if you look at his other tweet that he said delusion is a state of mind, not a ruling of court. My suit against the fake reporter is alive and well. Another thing she lied about. Judge tossed her harassment claims, and 7M is full steam ahead. She reached no settlement with me at all, other than email begging for no further litigation. She is a liar. Let me remind you, Katie Joy, just 10 days ago, I'm going to pull this up from Cooper here, Goat Cooper. Also, somebody else had put it up as well. I think, who was it? Kira? I think it was. I retweeted that one. But Cooper, yeah, I'm going to I'll retweet yours as well. So here we go. So just 10 days ago, she was saying this. 3 frivolous lawsuits filed against me are slowly coming to a close. Hashtag BS. BS. One case will be dismissed tomorrow. That was BS. Now, here's a fun fact on that. Look, because I wasn't able to file in the North Carolina, or excuse me, North Carolina, wrong lawsuit, Steve. I got so many I don't even remember my own lawsuits, right? In the Minnesota court case, I wasn't able to file, but it doesn't automatically just magically get dismissed. Nothing works that way in a court of law. Now, whether something's deemed dismissed or not, it's not the same as actually being dismissed. You actually have to have a judge dismiss a court case. So to say it's being dismissed was an absolute BS spin. It's a spin. And she has no idea what is actually happening with other litigations in me. She doesn't know. She can't know because only a few people know. I can tell you right now, Nikki is one of the few people that know. And Nikki will probably tell you that Katie has no idea what is going on. There's reasons for this, right? Civil procedure is dismissed when the court rules it dismissed, right? When they say, yes, we approve of this, the motion is dismissed. We'll get into that because they were dismissed, but not in her favor. One case missed a huge deadline in court to fail to serve notice to us until a week after the deadline. They said they have done nothing to prosecute their claim in 4 months as they filed. First of all, you don't prosecute civil claims. That's a tort. Prosecution is a criminal matter. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but Jesus Christ, man. I mean, seriously. Anybody knows you don't prosecute civil cases. You prosecute criminal cases. But actually, that is not even true that they missed a deadline. It was just it's something they needed to work out on far as like the discovery stuff, because what happened was both parties had written to the court in an informal attempt to say, can we extend the deadlines for pretrial discovery and some other things. And the judge had written just a handwritten note on both of them saying, if you want this, you need to file a motion for it. That's it. They were just trying to be very informal. They didn't want to have to go through the whole thing of filing for a motion and waiting. I think you have 90 days for a judge has to respond in Minnesota court. So they just did it as a very informal letter saying, hey, can we respond? Can we extend these things? Because, they're not giving us anything. And because of this and that, and whatever the reason was, I don't even remember or care. But they had asked in a letter to the court, to the judge, rather than an actual motion. So that was spin. And then the other one case resulted in a settlement of two parties. We are waiting for the other party to either voluntarily dismiss their case or will seek dismissal or summary judgment. They have provided no discovery and done nothing to prosecute the case in 9 months since they filed against me. Again, spin. It was not against Todd Chrisley. What happened was she was trying to include other third parties in the Todd Chrisley case, like One Live. I don't think she even got a hold of them. According to the court records, her service to them didn't go through. I mean, they got returned, no address found, right? Well, so the two parties, one was Live One, and I can't remember the name of the other one off the top of my head. Let me see if I got it somewhere. I might be able to tell you. It was Courtside Group Incorporated. So Live One and Courtside Group Incorporated with the other two parties. So those two parties, now I have no idea what happened between those two parties. I know nothing about them. I've never talked to their attorneys. I have no clue who the hell even are, to be honest with you. I think they're podcasting. Live One's a podcasting thing. I don't know who the other one is. So I think they have to do with Todd Chrisley's podcasting, but they settled with prejudice. So whatever it is that was between her and Todd Chrisley's podcasting, that has been settled and already basically resolved and dismissed with prejudice, but that has nothing to do with Todd Chrisley. It might have to do with something about removing some podcast. Okay, I can probably agree that was maybe part of this settlement. And supposedly 1 or 2 podcasts were removed, which seems to be a minor inconvenience, right? Basically, she basically said, hey, look, if you move 1 or 2 podcasts about me, I won't continue going after you. And they said, yeah, we don't even know who you are, nor we care. We'll just take them down and call it a day. That's probably what happened, in my opinion. I mean, again, I'm shooting from the hip here, guys. But that seems reasonable to me, at least as a possible hypothesis. Does it not? But it has nothing to do with Todd Chrisley. So for her to try to kind of group in the Live One and the other group into his case and say, oh, look, part of that settlement is already happening. Part of that is already being resolved. We've already got some voluntary dismissals in the Todd Chrisley case, is disingenuous. It is just straight up, even to me, I think dishonest, because it's spin. It's all Katie does is spin. So technically, yes, it was involved somewhat in the Todd Chrisley case, but it really has nothing to do with Todd Chrisley. Nothing has been settled with him. He's not going to settle. He's going full balls deep. He's going balls to the wall. He wants her to admit in court she lied about so many different things, right? And by the way, that was another thing she was saying that, Todd Chrisley's lying, blah, blah, blah. Oh, really? Okay, show the evidence for that, because everything seems to be backing up everything Todd's saying so far. She goes on to say frivolous lawsuits should be actually illegal, but I'm grateful for my team. Well, if that's the case, then why is she filing these countersuits? Because they are, by any metric, frivolous. Her counter lawsuit against me, frivolous. Everything in there is wrong. Every claim in there is just BS. There's nothing of actionable content in there. And what is in there, she just pulls out, she basically just straight up lied. I mean, there's not even a matter of, oh, this is the facts and I'm going to sue on that. Is, oh, I'm just going to make shit up and serve you on it. That's exactly what it was. She has made stuff up. Her countersuit against me, which has not been released yet, I've already shown some parts of it, but it's just like Steve fabricated screenshots in December of 2019. That's a bold-faced lie. That's not even just, oh, this happened and I'm going to sue you for it. This is, oh, I'm going to make shit up and then serve you on it. So if it's illegal, then, she might want to like, pull back on that a little bit as far as like wanting it to be illegal, because she would be in jail, I think, because she is the queen of frivolous, vexatious lawsuits and emotions. I mean, when you have somebody who on YouTube who files for three temporary restraining orders, all claiming that all three parties are doing the exact same thing, and two of the parties don't even know each other. I had no idea who Little Miss Noble was when all this was going down. No clue in the world. I heard the name once or twice, never spoke with her at the time. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. And all of a sudden, my name is being lumped in with her. I'm like, I have never talked to this woman, ever. I've never talked to the woman in the Nutter in UK, the name that should not be spoken, because then she comes around. I've never talked to her in my life. But according to Katie, I'm buddies with them. And, I'm doing this all for some UK nut job or something. It's like, what? So, yeah. So if frivolous lawsuits are illegal, then I think that Katie Joy probably get life in prison, and maybe the death penalty, because she's the queen of them. Don't waste the court's time trying to intimidate someone. It's just gross. But she's the one that said that these countersuits are for leverage. What is leverage? Intimidation. I'm not intimidated by her countersuit. I want her to actually file it. I'm quite happy if she files it. She got 2 litigations going on right now with 7M and Todd Chrisley, and she has still an outstanding lawsuit against me that she hasn't done anything with, but it's sitting there. And I haven't stopped talking about her. I'm like, bring it on. Go ahead. File. I'm not even bullshitting here. File. I kid you not. That is how I get justice. By her filing and proving in a court of law that she can't prove anything, because it's all BS. And I guarantee it. I know that I'll get funding for it by not just what I have, but the community. They will support me on that, because they all want to see Katie Joy, in a court, be proven a liar. Now, that's all I ever wanted anyways, whether it be my case, 7M's case, or Todd Chrisley's case. I don't care. Just somewhere along the line in a court of law, she's proven to be a liar. Because we all know this. I mean, as far as like YouTube, every content creator knows out there, she is dishonest. I mean, come on. I mean, this is like ubiquitous. The only idiots out there supporting her are the scum of YouTube. I mean, the bottom of the commentary community. These people have no reputation. They have no integrity. They don't care. They're just doing it for views. I don't give a crap about the views. Watch, don't watch, whatever. I'm getting information out there and hoping people run with it and put it out on their channels. Let them get the views. I don't care. Makes no difference. People use my name all the time for, quote, clout. I don't care. Whatever. I mean, all I've been doing is raising my numbers. My numbers are going up across the board on all 3 channels. Thank you very much. But again, I don't care. But I do in the fact that, look, if my numbers grow, that means my information is getting out more. That's it. That's the only thing I really care about. But I've been giving my stuff to other people. I gave my stuff to Nikki. I gave my stuff to Aaron. I want it out on their channel. Why? Because it gets some more people. That's it. I don't care about the information. Nikki, so far, I totally agree with you. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it. I do respect your opinion. And so when she says don't waste the court time trying to intimidate, she's the one intimidating people. She's the one that's doing that. But anyways, back to this. So let me show you what was actually in the court documents today. Would you like that? Yeah. Because I have it here. Daniel said, hi. Can someone explain to me what's happening? I haven't watched this channel in over 4 years. Yeah, so Katie Joy Paulson, who was a co-host to my former business partner, Kyle Curtis, on the Non Sequitur show on the other channel, basically has been involved in multiple defamatory lawsuits over the years, one with Toddy Westbrook. She settled with that one only because she gave Toddy what Toddy wanted to know. It wasn't because of any other reason. She's lied about that, by the way. She has absolutely lied, saying that she won that case and that the courts determined there's no defamation. Why doesn't anybody ask for evidence of that? Because there is none. The court made no determination, none, on if there's defamation or not, because it didn't get adjudicated. That is a straight up lie. So she spins that completely, right? And then, of course, she is now involved with 7M Productions, which was a dance company with Miranda and her husband, who were dancers. She had claimed that Robert Shin, which was the, is he the president of the 7M? Anyways, he's in charge of 7M's Productions, is running a cult, and that he takes a part of their checks and basically has to, everything has to prove what they wear, what they sleep, when they eat. It's like, she accused him of doing human trafficking. It's like, okay. And so it's funny because I listened to that phone call too when they had a hearing on that. And so on the Zoom call, the lawyer for Katie Joy said, well, my client wasn't the only one reporting on this. And 7M's attorney says, your client was the only one doing drunk rants, like 3 a.m. in the morning, claiming my clients were sex traffickers, something along those lines. I'm like dead. I was just dying. I was like, wow, that's brutal. That's brutal. So I was 7M's dance company ran by Shin. I was just like floored by that. I was like, you're telling the judge, but your client is the only one that was on drunken rants claiming my clients were sex traffickers. So this is the proposed order of dismissal with prejudice. Now this is what we agreed upon. This is what we propose, and we just want the judge to sign off on it. Basically, this is how I interpret these things. Because again, I mean, this is what the same thing happened in like the non sequitur showcase, right? When we had something we wanted the judge to do, we just do the proposed order. That way, the court doesn't have to write anything. We just say, okay, here's a proposed order. This is what we come to. Can you just sign it? So if you read this, it says based upon the stipulation of dismissal with prejudice, because it can't be refiled, by and among defendants Catherine Mansky Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball and third-party defendants, Group Live Inc. and Live One, filed on August 23rd, 2022. It is hereby ordered that all claims of defendants Catherine Mansky Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball Limited Liability Corporation against third-party defendants Courtside Group Inc. and Live One Incorporated shall be hereby dismissed with prejudice without attorney fees, costs, or disbursements to any party. Now, of course, this has not been signed yet by the judge, but it will be. It will be, because again, this is just a pro forma thing. There's like, okay, we've already agreed with this. There's nothing needs to be adjudicated. Can you just sign off on it? I think it is pretty telling that there's no with attorney fees. That neither side gave a crap enough to even try to get attorney fees. Like, yeah, okay, fine. But it is being dismissed. Prejudice, why? There's nothing. I don't think there's even anything actionable. I mean, like I said, Live One I know is podcasting. I think Courtside Group is probably somehow relating to the podcasting as well. But they probably just capitulated and caved in and said, okay, fine, we'll move 1 or 2 podcasts. And because she was all bragging about that. We've already got 1 or 2 podcasts removed. Well, yeah, big win. Okay, first of all that proves is you can't handle criticism, because Todd Chrisley said nothing defamatory in those. So basically all you're admitting to is, I filed a frivolous lawsuit against Live One and Courtside Group, and I was going to sue them if they didn't stop saying bad things and nasty things about me, and I got them to take down the podcast. Well, you haven't got to take me for anything. I haven't taken down anything. Not one thing have I taken down. And you know how many times I've heard, oh, Steve has to remove all his videos. Steve's going to remove all his videos about Katie Joy. Oh, Steve has removed all his videos. Really? Not one. Not one. Nothing. This is how spin is on the internet, because I have not removed anything, nor do I have any intention to. I will go to court over that and be happy to, because she still wants me to remove videos. I assume. I mean, she lives in fear of her life. She wants me to pay for her relocation costs. So that's going on with that. So the thing with that is that she was trying to spin this 10 days ago to say, oh, a portion of the Todd Chrisley case has already been settled. This is not a portion of the Todd Chrisley case. Sure, it's attached to it because they're the group that Todd Chrisley had his podcast on, but it has nothing to do with the defamation lawsuit itself. That's called spin. I mean, that's some heavy duty spin. But that's what she wants the stands of hers to believe. Because again, I don't think any of them look at this stuff. It's obvious that they do not go and follow any of this. They basically just blindly just get force feed by her this information, and they don't care. They don't go look. You guys do. I know Nikki did, because she just did a stream on it. So I'm at this point, just basically believe that anybody who listens to Katie Joy, either one, doesn't give enough crap to go actually look whether she's telling the truth, or is just as dishonest as she is, or both. I mean, they're not mutually exclusive, right? Nikki says, I'm sick of Katie Joy's lies and bullshit. It's about time people wake up to this nonsense. Well, I think they are. I mean, look, who is the most hated YouTuber right now? It's her, basically, right? And look at the people she keeps company with, right? I mean, she keeps company with the dregs of YouTube. I mean, do you think that Unifam have any credibility? No. I mean, all they do is spew on people. I mean, he just got in a beef with Mr. Sensible. Mr. Sensible stomped him into the ground, curb stomped him, and he just, Uni went running for the hills. And that's what he does. And so I don't pay him any attention. I don't give a shit. He can say whatever he wants about me. It doesn't matter. I never address anything that he accuses me of. Never will. Probably. I don't see any reason to. There's just nothing. I mean, if you start addressing every little thing that people start accusing you of, you're going to spend all your time doing that. And if that's what you want for content, go ahead, knock yourself out. If that's the type of content creator you want to be, is just make videos and respond back and forth like he wants people to do, because he told me that, then do that. But I'm not that type of content creator. I always put out what I think is facts. And if it's not facts, I'll let you know. But that's how I'm going to continue this channel and my other channels. I don't give a crap about the drama. I don't give a crap about, doing tit for tat. And, I have 1,000 rumors out there about me. I don't care. I swear to you, it doesn't have any relevancy in my life whatsoever. I mean, like a new one out there it was so bad. It was like, oh yeah, Steve's a baby daddy to some woman that lives 3,000 miles away from him. Okay, let's go with that. It doesn't need to be addressed. It's stupid. Again, don't address rumors. If somebody has actual facts, if they have a court record or something that maybe they can show, then if you want to decide to address something, great. But if not, don't bother spinning your wheels for these people. I will never address anything from any troll, I don't think. I mean, I can't make it as an absolute surety, but as for the most part, it's a good rule of thumb. And I do recommend that for other people, because that's what they want. I mean, they're going to get content either way, right? Even if you don't address them, they're going to get content out of it. So what? You live your life and you do what you want to do, what makes you happy. And that's what I've been doing. And it's been making me happy. So I think that bothers them. I've actually been doing pretty well lately. And I love what I do. So anyways, to the next thing. Anybody other questions on this? So yes, let's recap so far. So Katie Joy lied about having a source. Katie Joy lied about a portion of the Todd Chrisley case being dismissed with prejudice. Because again, while this is attached to that case, it has nothing really to do with Todd Chrisley. Now, again, you may not want to call it a lie, because, if you want to say, well, technically it had to do with the case. Okay, sure. But I'm just going to straight up say, if that is your criteria for what is and isn't a lie, then I don't know. I got to question what you would consider a lie. I'd consider a lie. Maybe. I mean, if you want to say, well, it wasn't quite a lie, but it was deceitful. Okay, you do you. Personally, from my, reading of lying theories on lying, because a lot of theories on lying, to spin something with deceit in order to make an audience believe something contrary to what really is going on, I'm just going to call that lying. Straight up lying. So, and we definitely know that she straight up lied about having a source. That is obviously facts and evidence. She's admitted she has no name for a source, no number for a source, and I think the attorneys have just straight up said, yeah, she doesn't have a source. So go figure. Now, the other one, let me cough here. This one was in the 7M case. So the 7M case, she had been saying that she was going to get that dismissed, that case was going to be dismissed. I think that's what she was saying. Now, that is not what happened. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite happened. She had a motion to dismiss 7M's lawsuit, saying that there's nothing to be actionable on it, something along those lines. The judge disagreed with her. The judge found that there was moving cause for a defamatory action, that what she had said could be construed by a reasonable person and a jury or judge to be defamatory, and it should be adjudicated. In a nutshell. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't speak legalese. So, but let's go through this. The above entitled matter came on for a hearing on the defendant's motion to dismiss on May 22nd, 2022, before the Honorable Michelle A. Davis, Judge of District Court. Plaintiffs appeared by and through attorney Amber J. Stavig, hope that's how you pronounce her name, Stavig, and defendant appeared and was represented by attorney Kristen C. Hendrick. She is in the same law firm as Graham. Due to the COOF pandemic, matter was heard remotely via Zoom. And by the way, that might be advantageous to all parties. I think they just continue to do that. If you think about it, why not just do these things through Zoom? It's so much easier. I mean, obviously, it seems kind of like almost like a futuristic thing. All court cases done, through remote, but I have no problem with that. So, all parties could hear throughout the proceeding, based upon all reports, filings, records herein, arguments of counsel, and after being fully advised, the court makes the following order. It is hereby ordered: 1. Defendant's motion to dismiss counts 1 to 10 is denied. Denied. In other words, straight up, no, the case against 7M is not dismissed. It is her motion to dismiss that which is denied, which means the 7M case is going forward, just like the Todd Chrisley case is going forward. Number 2, the attached memorandum is incorporated herein and made part of this order. Number 3, a copy of this order should be served upon the parties by e-service and U.S. mail and should constitute due and proper service upon the parties in lieu of personal service. Basically, they're just sending this off to them. Now, I'm not going to get into the details. If you want to go read the thing, there's more to it about the information herein. I don't really have time for it. Nikki, did you read this on your channel? Because I mean, obviously, I don't need to go through. It's just a bunch of legalese, right? About the motion to dismiss requires legal sufficiency. In other words, and I've gone through this before. I've read about this because of the non-sequitur showcase and other things. From what I understand, from a legal sufficiency, to dismiss a lawsuit, you have to argue that there's nothing in the lawsuit that can even be adjudicated on. There's no grounds for the lawsuit. There's nothing actionable, and so you can just dismiss it summarily. You can just say, "Look, this person's suing me because they say that I claim that they're a bad person." If that's their argument, "Oh, I'm suing you because you said I'm a bad person," and the court, you just basically say, "Look, that's not actionable. That's nothing even needs to be adjudicated. It's just pro forma. That is just nonsense. That's not defamatory." Then you can ask for it to say, "Okay, I'm going to dismiss." Ask the court to dismiss it summarily because it doesn't need to be ruled upon. The courts know that is not something that is actionable, right? Does that make sense? And so, in order to survive a motion to dismiss, from what I understand, again, I'm not a lawyer. But I do know some. I stayed at a Holiday Inn one time. So, but when I understand, in order to survive a motion to dismiss, there has to be at least something in there that is factual, that could be accepted of those facts, that could be used in a court case that a jury or judge can rule upon. So, like the court must consider only the facts alleged in the complaint, accepting those facts as true. So you assume that everything is true. You just basically assume that it's true. Must be construed all reasonable inferences in favoring of the moving party. In other words, if it is true, then it'll survive, right? If these allegations are true and they're actionable, then it will survive. And that's the way the courts look at these things. And the same thing with the TRO. When Catherine Mansky Paulson or Katie Joy filed the TROs, she could write whatever she wants in an affidavit. She could lie her ass off on it, She can literally put anything you want in a TRO. And the courts have to assume that it's true for an ex parte temporary restraining order. They assume it's true. They have no other choice, but they must assume that it's true. And then you adjudicate it, right? Then you have a hearing, and then you actually determine if it is true. But the assumption of truth is where it starts. Same thing with an motion to dismiss. You assume that the other party is making a motion on something that is actionable, and then you look at it and say, okay, is this if this is true, can it be adjudicated? But if it doesn't survive that, you say, yeah, even if it's true, it's something that isn't something that is actionable. If somebody just says you're a mean person, that's not actionable. That's not defamatory. That's just an opinion. That's something that could just be dismissed right out. And again, that's how I interpret the law. If there's anybody who knows, legalese out there, by all means, weigh in. Hi, Milwaukee Atheist. How are you, my friend? Look at that. Hi, Steve. I will get back to you about your thing tomorrow. I'm going to try to be on your show on Sunday. I am working late that night, so I probably will be awake. But I'll get back to you tomorrow on that. And so, long story short, blah, 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 who's a public figure, blah, 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 legalese, blah, 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 blah. Accordingly, because plaintiffs have properly alleged facts that, if proven at trial, now again, if proven at trial, would entitle them to relief, and with the parties apparently in agreement of the claim of the defamation is depositive to the other court counts of the amended complaint, a defendant's motion to dismiss must be denied. In other words, 7M has a lawsuit. The judge is basically, the way I'm interpreting it, the judge is saying, yes, 7M has a lawsuit that, if these alleged facts are true, then it's something that could be adjudicated and entitle them to relief upon. There you go. So, in a nutshell, if we want to just do a quick recap, Katie was once again lying to her audience. This is something that we already assume would be the case, but then we have to say, okay, what is she lying about? Well, in this particular case, she's lying that she had a source with Chrisley Knows Best. Busted. She's lying that a portion of the Todd Chrisley case was resolved with Todd Chrisley. Busted. Because it wasn't resolved with Todd Chrisley. It was resolved with the third parties. And she was lying to her audience, saying that the other lawsuits are going to be dismissed soon, which was the 7M case. That didn't happen. Busted. And of course, she lied about my case being dismissed. That was a lie. That's busted. Because again, in order to be dismissed, it has to be adjudicated. Deemed dismissed is not the same as being dismissed. Those are different. She's wording these things as if it's an action. This has happened. And this is how Katie writes. She spins things in a way that she words things that people have to really kind of read into in order to actually even remotely understand the actual facts. Because she gets things wrong all the time. Like, even her saying, oh, there's been nothing to prosecute, whatever. You don't prosecute a civil case. But it sounds a lot more harsh. Either she's ignorant or she worded that, to sound a lot more harsh than it is, right? But that's how she spins it to her audience. Oh, this was dismissed. No. In order to be dismissed, it has to be adjudicated. Deemed dismissed and dismissed are not the same thing. And also, she really has no idea what's going on with me. She just doesn't. Just because I haven't filed my lawsuit, which if I did, she could then say this was, past the deadline. I'm asking for a dismissal with prejudice. Okay, then the court can rule on it. But I'm taking a different route. And that she doesn't know about. So who cares? What it completely is irrelevant. And what's worse is she filed a counter, right? It's like, okay, you still have a counter out there, which she has 2 weeks more to file, or that will be deemed, dismissed, but it won't be dismissed unless, she files against me. Then what happens is I file and say, okay, I tell the court, hey, look, this needs to be dismissed with prejudice, right? That's it. Then the court rules upon it. But she hasn't filed anything yet. Now, again, she's so scared of her well-being, and she has to move. She says she's in the process of moving. This is what she told the court. She is in the process of moving, and that she wants me to pay for a relocation cost because she's so worried. Even though she told Todd Chrisley's lawyers that she was swatted 4 times by him. So who is she scared of here? Why is she moving because of me or for Todd Chrisley? It can't be both ways. And this is going to, I think, might bite her in the butt in the legal proceedings. Because I'm telling you right now, the lawyers are well aware of this. They have all my lawsuit stuff. They know. I'll at least tell you that. Okay. So when you argue 2 different hypotheses in 2 different lawsuits, you might have a problem, right? If I say, hey, look, I have let's say I got a black eye, and I say, hey, look, I got punched in the face. Well, who punched you? Autistic Shell punched me in one lawsuit. Oh, and then another lawsuit, I said, no, Nikki 38 punched me. Well, only one person punched me. But then you're suing 2 different people. That's the analogy that I would use, right? So Evil Little McNugget says, I've only been listening in here, and this is dismissed with prejudice, right? Okay, so what was dismissed with prejudice was her wanting to have a lawsuit against the third parties in the Todd Chrisley case. And those third parties were related to his podcast. Now, she has said that a few podcasts were taken down, and from what I can see, that seems to be the case. They might be on some other feeds, but on the main feeds, they seem to be gone. At least one of them that I checked was no longer there. That I could find. And again, maybe I just didn't look hard enough. I know, but it seems from what I've seen, yes, a podcast or more was taken down. But is that a big win? Is that a big win that you basically got a podcast talking about you down? What does that say for you? I have never asked anybody to remove a podcast about me or what they've said about me. No, nothing. I mean, we all know that people defame me all the time. You know? I mean, I've asked for an apology. I mean, maybe way back when, maybe at some point, maybe I asked people to take something down that was completely false. Okay, that might be fine. I get that. But as far as like a podcast, I don't think I've ever asked anybody to take down a podcast, or at least certainly not legally. You know, I never asked. You know, when Kyle had lied to the court, saying that he, was living with his boyfriend, even though we knew that was a lie, and he submitted false evidence to the court. We knew that was, a lie. We knew that he falsified bank records. Those videos, they're still up. They're still falsely accusing me. Why? Because I want an accurate historical context. Because when these things come out, I want people to remember who lied about what. Right? And people say, well, but yeah, those videos are still out there. They're still, defaming you. They're still, lying about you. Yeah, but now people know that I was telling the truth about the Kyle Curtis lawsuit, right? People know now that it was him committing fraud. It was him lying to the court. We have absolute evidence that he lied to the court. We have the altered records. The court even acknowledged that. And I just talked to the detective the other day, and they're still going over the evidence, whether they're able to file perjury and embezzlement charges. It's still ongoing. It has not been dropped yet. Now, do I think it's going to go through? I don't know. I give it 50-50 at this point. I mean, the fact that it's gone 30 days already, because I reached out again to them a month ago, and I just did a touch base with him, and and this guy's really polite. He's really cool. He's like, yeah, just let you know, we're still compiling a bunch of stuff, and we're still seeing what we can do on it. That to me is encouraging, because normally what they would say is, oh, we have nothing we can even do here, right? Because initially what happened was, I know this is tangential, but since Evil McNuggets last, asked about, some of these things about what's being dismissed with prejudice. I got into this tangent, sorry. But when we first brought it to the detective's attention that Kyle embezzled money, that he basically said at the time, this was before it was adjudicated, or technically it wasn't adjudicated, it was settled, because Kyle signed a $115,000 confession of judgment, which I'm going to be right now filing paperwork to start the process to collect on that. But he told me that because it hasn't been determined whether it's a partnership or not, you can't file for embezzlement, or you couldn't do it, right? Because at the time, even though the court had said that they're treating it as a partnership, there was really nothing to establish it. But after Kyle signed a confession of judgment, it has been confirmed there was a general business partnership, which means that he could be legally found criminally liable for embezzlement. And we certainly know he perjured himself. That's not, whether embezzlement would be a technical criminal thing, but as far as perjury, that's a given. My lawyer was straight up. I'll tell you what, word for word, what he said to me. He said, I gave it to the detective on silver platter. That's exactly what he said. I gave him all the information and stuff like that, and handed it to him on a silver platter. This is he called it a slam dunk perjury case. And it's so funny because perjury cases do not happen often in civil cases. Very, very rarely do they happen. But this is such a slam dunk where the evidence is so overwhelming that he lied in deposition, and that he altered bank records, and that he photoshopped evidence, that is pretty bad. Now people say, well, what about Amber Heard? She did the same thing. She's not found liable for perjury. Yeah, well, I don't know why they didn't press charges on that. They should have. I think that she should be prosecuted for perjury. But this isn't a high profile case. I mean, granted, it was, mentioned in Forbes.com and stuff, but it really isn't that high profile. But that's what's going on with that. So anyways, to answer your question, what was dismissed was her motion to dismiss the 7M lawsuit. And she was telling her little, stands, oh, this is all going to go away. I have 3 frivolous lawsuits and nothing's going to happen to them. Well, first of all, none of them are frivolous. My lawsuit against her was not frivolous. It is completely determinable that anybody with a brain can go see that she lied about me. I mean, what she said was not true. She had said that her BSTRO was put under Victim Violence Against Women's Act. We all know now that anybody with any kind of legal sense will tell you that is honest, because we do know there's some dishonest lawyers out there, that couldn't be possible because that had been defunded in 2019. And I have actual documentation from my lawyer saying the judge did not do this. So you have to assume that my lawyer is lying. You have to assume that it's still funded. You have to assume that the judge did this sua sponte, which there's no evidence for. I mean, you have to be a dumb or dishonest individual to believe anything Katie Joy says. So at that point, I feel that I've already proven my point that she did lie about the judge putting under VAWA. And again, if you're objective and not an idiot, you can go read that VAWA requires familiarity, meaning you have to be at least a family member or somebody who has been in some kind of domestic partnership with the person. It is not possible to have violence against women under that act if you've never met the person. It is not possible. Autistic Shill, new member. Thank you, Autistic Shill. I appreciate it. I am still taking memberships. I'm still taking super chats. I'm still taking Patreon. I appreciate every dime that I get. I really do. I definitely know that, my income has taken a huge hit on YouTube. I understand that. But you know what? I'm still putting out the same information. I'm still putting it out there, even though people are like, oh, Steve talks about Katie Joy. Well, so is everybody else. So what? And by the way, had people listened to me years ago, we wouldn't be in this situation. She would not have been in a position to slander and libel and defame 7M and Todd Chrisley or Toddy Westbrook or dozens of other people. She's lied about not just those parties, but she's lied about Jeffree Star. She's lied about LEB. She's lied about Molly Golightly. She's lied about oh my God. I mean, how many different names? I mean, there's a list of like 40 names out there. There's too many to go into. But yeah, so anyways, that's kind of my summation. And again, thank you, Autistic Show, for becoming a member. I do appreciate it. But what do you guys' questions for me before I kind of wrap this up? Because I do have to get ready for work and I like to go eat. But I think that pretty much summarizes everything. If you go to my Twitter timeline, the link is in the video description for my Twitter. Go find it. It's just simple, at Steve McRae _ I had posted that my summation for today was that Katie Joy lied about having a source. This seems to be confirmed by Todd Chrisley and his attorneys. Katie lied about having any kind of settlement in part with Todd Chrisley. That seems to be a lie because, again, she did not settle anything with him. It was with a third party. So even though that was spin because it was attached to his case, the way she was wording it, that somehow it was a settlement as a portion related to him directly, like she negotiated with him, I'm going to call that a lie. She had lied to her stands about the 7M case was in the process of being dismissed. The judge has found that to be not correct. The judge found sufficient evidence or reason that if what was factually alleged is true, which they have to assume, that if proven at trial would entitle them to relief. And that's their criteria for determining whether a motion to dismiss a lawsuit will go through or not. If these things are true, is it something they can collect relief on? The judge determined yes. Which, I kind of said anyways, right? Hey, oh my goodness, mocking media. Dude, look, straight up, I have no idea who mocking media is other than Aaron. Aaron. Yeah, I don't know who mocking media is. EKC people suck. But goddamn, dude, or dudette. Well, dude is unisex now. I'm just gonna call you dude. But holy crap, go check out Mocking Media's YouTube channel if you want to see some like high level stuff of talent. Brilliant, just absolute brilliant comedy. I mean, I don't know. I'm beginning to think that Mocking Media writes for like some kind of major comedy thing, like maybe like Dave Chappelle or like Saturday Night Live. It's just too high production value, and it's just too spot on comedy. And I love comedy. I love to laugh. I listen to a lot of comedy. Satire is just a big thing with me, and Mocking Media stuff is on the level of like what you would find for like an actual show. So like I said, I don't know what their training is. I don't know what their education is, but it is definitely, there's somebody who knows about media. There's somebody who knows how to clearly do editing, and I don't know if they use After Effects or Adobe, or I don't know, whatever they use. I use HitFilm, by the way. And by the way, the video that I put up the other day, it was rushed. It was good. I think it was good. And I had some audio issues here and there, which I didn't filter because I literally made that video in about 2 hours. But you know what? It's been a long time since I made a standalone video, and I just wanted it out. But I think I might make more. I think I might. I enjoy that. I like making standalone videos. It's just time consuming. people don't realize how much time goes into making videos. I mean, Mocking Media knows. I mean, I'm sure they don't do that in an hour. It probably takes at least a full day, if not longer, to make their videos. But anybody who makes any kind of videos on YouTube, no matter even how short it is a process. It is time consuming, right? Someone turn on allow member gifting, Steve. I bought a membership gift, so if somebody has to turn on membership to accept. Yeah, you know, that's funny that you mentioned that. That happened the other day on it was Aaron's channel. And on Aaron's channel, somebody had gifted something, not realizing that it's random. And so I accidentally got it. And then so I gifted it forward to somebody else, right? So somebody gifted, I got it, and then I gifted it to somebody else, so they got it. And so I just paid it forward. So if you want to get a random chance to get a gift for membership for 1 month, you got a cool green name and my forever adoration. And, you know, I basically will adore you for almost eternity, or when you become a piece of crap, right? I mean, my loyalty is only goes so far as when a person becomes a piece of crap, then they're done. As soon as they start becoming somebody who follows Unirock or PJ or Ennis, yeah, then you're done. You're out of the realm of reality at that point. And I have nothing to do with you, right? So in perpetuity, yeah. So you should see a little thing that pop up, a blue screen that says turn on membership gifting. If you've seen that pop up in the live chat, click that and you'll have a chance to get the membership that was gifted by Autistic Show. And then it'll give a little notice. If somebody doesn't do it now, they'll do it at the future, and I'll let Autistic Show know. But thank you for gifting that, Autistic Show. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Mocka Media. Okay. By the way, like I said, I don't want to give too much info. It's Aaron. But you know, do you have a lot of experience in film editing? Can I just ask you that? I mean, you don't have to answer, Aaron. But it just says you can also turn it on at the join section. Oh, can you? Interesting to know that. I did not know that. So if you guys go to where it says join, you can actually turn it on, and then you can get you can win the membership for a month. So that is cool. So thank you for that. Nikki says I turn mine on, I never win. Oh, we dabble. Okay, I got you. Oh, it's we. Oh yeah, I forgot there are multiple people. So what is it? Aaron and Aaron? Yeah. That's hilarious. All right, so again, I got to get going here soon. So what's your last minute questions on any of this? Let me just ask you straight up. Do you guys think that my summation is correct? Do you guys think that I was correct last night when I was putting this out and I had pushback? There was only one person who gave so much pushback. I think they were just trolling, and I was like, I'm not going to bother with you. You're not listening. When people don't listen, when I ask them direct questions, I tend to believe that they're not really interested in having a dialogue. But last night I had put out that she lied about having a source and that there was no evidence of Todd Chrisley blackmailing his daughter. And when they're putting out, it was on TMZ, it was on Dr. Phil, I was later reminded that that Katie Joy had put all this information out prior to those airings. So it sounds like to me that she was putting this stuff out there. Somehow it went on. You know, here's what may have happened. Again, this is a hypothesis. She might have just made this stuff up, put it out there, convinced Lindsay of it, and then Lindsay went on Dr. Phil. It was called what is it? God dang it. Yeah, it's ergo propter hoc, right? Post hoc ergo propter hoc. It's basically, even though this event followed that event, that event is caused by that event may not necessarily be true. So just because some event follows some event, just because Lindsay went on Dr. Phil, it followed. Katie Joy talked about it after she went on Dr. Phil. It doesn't mean that the event of her going on Dr. Phil was the reason why Katie talked about it, because she might have talked about it before, right? So it may not be the case that she got the information about Todd Chrisley blackmailing his daughter from Dr. Phil, again, post hoc ergo propter hoc. It might have been that she put it out there before then, which it sounds like she did. I was reminded of that. And then somehow maybe Lindsay ran with it. I don't know. Again, that part is hypothesis, but I do believe from what I recall, she did talk about it before those things even aired, right? So, Kimaki says if there's an actual source, was the deepest throat ever, right? Yeah, right. I mean, come on. Do you really think if somebody had that much of an insider source, they wouldn't know the name of the person or contact information? Come on. I mean, people know when I say that I have a quote source. I don't use the word source. I use the word source. I do it mockingly. But I mean, if I know somebody that's kind of have an inside track, I actually do have somebody that has an inside track kind of stuff, right? I mean, I don't make this crap up. People know this by now, and people know that I'm telling you the truth because they've seen some of the people that I talk to. I know a lot of people. And so the people that need to know, then I'll let them know what's going on. I know Nikki knows, she knows that when I say that I've talked to somebody that, or, has inside information when it comes to these types of lawsuits, I'm not BSing at all. But Katie Joy just outright lies. Autistic says, Steve, you're welcome. I'm sure you never come up with some kind of BS because we'll let him. I mean, he's just a Spinmeister. Right now, he's just basically shilling for Katie, right? Katie and them, even, both of them have said, look, they don't like each other, right? Because they're both, liars, and they both are dishonest, and they're both competing. But he is a useful idiot to her, basically, right? Because if he will put out what she wants him to put out and get paid for it, it's a win-win for both of them, right? Because he's putting out the information that she wants out, which is a complete lie. He doesn't care if it's a lie because he has no integrity and no honor. He lost his all honor a long time ago. And he gets paid for it. So it's a win-win with all of them. But the best thing you can do is just ignore them. Again, the people that hate watch, you're part of the problem right now, I think. If you're hate watching any of these people, I think you're part of the problem. If you want to know what they're saying, there's a handful of people in the communities that watch them and do recaps. Just watch those. Watch Nikki. She almost always did a recap. Watch Aaron. Watch Renelle. Watch Allie, True Sleuth. Watch any of them. They all do. You don't need to watch the live feeds to know what's going on, right? I mean, even if you want to watch the videos afterwards, okay. But what these people get off on is those big, large numbers of the live feeds. Oh, I've got 300 people listening. That's what they're getting off on. And so if you're watching live any of these people and you don't like the content, you're probably part of the problem with, again, select few individuals that watch so they can inform everybody else, right? So if you're a content creator and you want to inform everybody, I get that. But if you're just like listening to people that you hate watch, I don't get that. And here's the thing. I'm not a hypocrite. I don't hate watch any of them. I do not hate watch a single freaking person. Well, at least in that side of the community. I can't say nobody because there is other communities that I hate watch. But as far as like our community, who do I hate watch? I can't think of anybody. I certainly don't watch anything by Katie or Uni, right? Lola said, would you be comfortable if she had said deemed dismissed? Yeah, because that's what it was. It would be deemed dismissed. Yeah. But see, again, it's all about the spin, right? And that to me is what I take umbrage of. I take offense when people don't get things correct in order to mislead people. And that's what she's a master of. And also, like I said, all the litigations I've had and all the money I've spent has not gone to naught. I mean, it has been something that has helped other people and is still continuing. Like I said, I am not done with any of this. And I'll just leave it at that. But even still, she still has a lawsuit against me, which I knew she was going to do because she said she was going to sue me, right? I mean, she said that back in the TRO days. So I just preempted her and did one first, right? I mean, she said she was going to sue me, right? I mean, this was her words. She was going to sue me. My lawyer's like, hey, she's vexatious, and she's going to sue you. Might as well, have a lawsuit against her because you have some actions. Okay, but I'm not stopping her from suing me now. So, and I wanted out there that she lied in her complaint against me. It has been well established that she lied in her complaint. I proved the other night that she lied about her accusations, and this is what I want. This is what I want to show you. Katie Joy lies. She lies in court documents. That's my whole point for all this. So it has not gone to naught. It is, oh, shit, Steve's right. Steve is right when Katie has lied in affidavits. She's lied in motions. She's lied in numerous court dealings with people. This is the whole point of all this. You guys say, oh, we want to show Katie to be a liar. Well, we're doing this. We're doing this. I mean, all of us are showing this. There's people that I don't even know are making videos about Katie showing she lies. Do we want her shown as a liar in court? Yes, but who's most likely to get that done? Unfortunately, is 7M. My lawyer is straight up honest about that. He thinks 7M is going to take everything. She's going to have nothing left. So, to spend, tens of thousands of dollars that you're not going to be able to recoup just for ego, to show people that she lied about me, it's just not, it just makes no sense at that point, I think. And again, I filed before Todd Chrisley and 7M. What does make sense, though, is she files against me and she can't make her case. And it can prove it in court that everything she said about me was absolute nonsense because she has no evidence for it. And I want the judge to laugh at her, what she calls evidence, because it's not evidence. Annie says, hi, Steve. It's so easy to click off a video instead of bashing someone. If you don't like the content, then click it off. I agree. No, I think you're absolutely right on that. Look, if you don't like my content, what do I tell people? Don't watch. I don't force anybody to watch. Nobody forces me to watch anything. When I go watch Nikki or I go watch Aaron or Tina or whatever, or Renelle, or lately I've been really watching Tia. Nobody forces me to do that. I do it because I want to. And that's the way it should be. And so why would I give somebody I don't like a view? Why do you guys give somebody you don't like a view? That just seems silly to me. I get it. I really do understand people want to see a train wreck. I do. But, can you wait till it's actually, aired? And then maybe watch it afterwards where you can fast forward, by the way, through the dull parts. I mean, I don't know how people sit through an 8-hour stream of nonsense. I just don't know. So I really have no idea how people can bother to sit through 8 hours of just some rambling nonsense of people basically being a shill for somebody, being known as paid to do so. We already know that Katie Joy is paying people to lie for her. This is well established. I mean, as a matter of fact, even Todd, her husband, not Todd Chrisley, but her husband was saying, yeah, well, uni can be bought. Well, we know that. Duh. You can't offer me a damn dime that I would lie. Nothing. You say, hey, Steve, I'll give you $10,000 to support Katie Joy. I'd be like, screw you. You say, I'll give you $1 million. I say, screw you. No, the same. I mean, sure, there's certain things that you'll do money for. I mean, sure. Like I would like basically date a guy for like $1 million. Sure. Absolutely. For $1 million. Yeah. Yeah. Why? Because there's nothing like legal there, right? Or there's nothing unethical there, I should say. But you say, hey, I'll give you $1 million to kill somebody. I'd be like, screw you. Why? Because that's a criminal act. I'm not going to do that. Same thing if you say, I'll give you $1 million to support this person. I couldn't do that. I couldn't live with myself. I just couldn't. I mean, what good is $1 million if what you did to get it, for the rest of your life, you're going to have such a guilt, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. Now, I can understand people that maybe are destitute. They do a lot of things for money. I get that. But the people we're dealing with are not really destitute. They're just dishonest. They're just shady. And that's the difference. All right. This is a good point here. Simone says, did she not think that we all knew her statement was false? There were over 40 creators watching the hearing on Zoom. And that's a good point. And a matter of fact, Simone, she had also lied at one time saying that on a prior Zoom hearing that the judge stopped it because people were listening in. That was a lie. That was an absolute lie. She's like, well, no, the hearing couldn't be public because it's dealt with my son. That was a lie, an absolute lie. It had nothing to do with that because all these are public. And she didn't want people to know that. She wanted her audience to think, oh, these are not public things. And if you listen in, you're breaking some kind of law. That was a lie. Absolute lie. So yeah, here's the thing though, Simone, she doesn't really care what we think. She doesn't care we're not stupid, but we're not her followers. What she cares is her idiot followers will believe her because they don't check into things. That's the reason. Nikki 38 says Katie Joy believes her own lies or thinks that, or she thinks that she's that good at lying. And yeah, I think it's probably a combination of both. But yeah, there's something called a shut eye, by the way. A shut-eye is a psychic that really kind of believes their own nonsense. Like, people know that I'm not into the psychic stuff. I think it's all BS. I believe very strongly that psychic stuff is BS, and they're all cons. They're all con men. They're all hucksters. They're all frauds. They just want to take your money. You cannot talk to the dead. There's no clairvoyance or clairmediums. All these people that are like the Long Island Medium and John Edwards and all those guys on Prague, they all were proven to be, effectively proven. We can't really prove, but effectively proven to be dishonest and edited and tricks of the trade and cold reading. I know this now. Most of us will understand these mediums have been charlatans for hundreds of years. But some of them actually believe their own BS, and they're called shut-eyes. And I think that Katie is her own shut-eye. I think that she actually believes her own BS in some cases. Right? I think the good portion of her followers are socks who are just hate watching. And you're right. I think that you're right. But you know what? They're part of the problem. We're supposed to have no hate watch August, but only certain people follow that. Again, just a suggestion. But I'm just going to put it out again. If you're hate watching, think about what you're doing. You're supporting your content creator that you hate by doing so. It's effectively what it is. You are effectively supporting a content creator that you don't actually support. Kara says, Katie Joy doesn't have a problem with lying. She has a problem with telling the truth. Amen. She only tells the truth when it will benefit her in a short term, in a very small way. Right? Any of the big picture stuff, she'll never admit she's lying. She would rather go to jail than admit she lied about me sexually harassing her. Same thing with Kyle. Kyle literally went to jail rather than admit that he lied. He went to jail rather than admit that he lied. That's pretty impressive. That is a true narcissist. A true narcissist doesn't care about consequences because they're sociopaths. Right? Well, actually, I think it's all sociopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are sociopaths. But anyways, she's both, in my opinion. So I think she would go to jail rather than admit that she lied about that. I do believe that very strongly. Because if she had admitted that she misused the Me Too movement, that would backfire spectacularly, because that would tell every woman, which is the major consistency of her audience, that she's misused the Me Too movement. And most women would not take that very kindly, because there are actual victims of sexual harassment out there. And what she did was she played the victim in order to try to silence somebody just because they have to be a man. And one of the ways to do that is make false allegations against them. Unfortunately, it works. There are still idiots to this day, even though it's been proven beyond any doubt that she lied about it, because I have the communications between her. She had no evidence whatsoever. She made up multiple different variations of the story. It was complete BS. I told everybody that from day one, but I also said Kyle lied too. People didn't believe me. Found out Steve was right. So I have nothing to prove on that point anymore. I couldn't care less if people think that, because the people that think that for some reason I sexually harassed her, they're people I don't give a shit about. They're idiots. They think Katie Joy tells the truth about other things. Who cares? They're not of relevance to me. If you're that stupid, you're that stupid. I can't fix stupid. I can't even jury rig dumb. Okay. So I can't fix stupid. I can't jury rig dumb. You're just somebody who I will just not have any respect for, and I'll have no intention of ever having a conversation with somebody that freaking stupid. But the people that I respect, yeah, they all know the truth now. And that's what matters to me the most. But here's the thing, though. If she could do it to me, she could do it to other people. This is what people have been trying to say. Look, she's done this to numerous content creators. If she's done it to me, she can do it to other people. Simone says she's posted today she has no sock accounts. Come on. She's admitted she's at sock accounts. But I heard that it came out that in the Toddy case, she admitted having 100 sock accounts. Does anybody know if that did come out? I don't know about 100, but yeah, she has actually said, I have sock accounts in a group. I was on a sock account that infiltrated this group. Of course she has sock accounts. For all I know, you could be one of her sock accounts, Simone. I'm just playing, but I mean, yeah, she has sock accounts. Now, I will tell you right now, I have no YouTube or Twitter sock accounts. None. Everybody knows my accounts. I'm very honest of what my accounts are. If somebody says, "Oh, that's Steve's account," they're lying. If I have not said that's my account, they're lying. I had that back in the case against Kyle. People were like, "Oh, look at Steve on a sock account." I'm like, "That's not my account. I don't even know who the hell this person is. I haven't them blocked or muted." That's, again, people can make up any kind of things when there's no way to know one way or another, right? I can say right now, hey, Simone Josephine, I can say, oh, look, that's Katie's sock. There's no way to determine one way or another. I wouldn't do that, though, because I don't want to make false allegations. But has she said she had socks? Yes, she has said she has socks. Yeah. So, I mean, come on. Do you believe that she doesn't have any socks? No. Come on. Of course she does. But then she also falsely accused me in her affidavit saying he continues to make dozens of parody accounts. This was her words, that I continue to make dozens of parody accounts. No, I've never made dozens of parody accounts. I've only actually even had one in my life parody account. It only had, I would say, a dozen tweets, and it wasn't tagged to anybody. And I don't even have that account any longer. So the fact that, because I also used to write e-cards, by the way. There are e-cards out there, those e-cards, those piffy little sayings. I have e-cards out there. Some of them have thousands and thousands of downloads. One of them got really, really popular. Okay, so I used to write e-cards. But for her to say that I had dozens of socks, that's a lie. She can't prove that because it never happened. But it's easy to make those allegations, right? Just like when they say, oh, people buy subs. I can't say Katie Joy buys subs because I see no evidence of that. Because people say, well, they could open by the thousand. Yeah, because she's 100,000 plus YouTuber. And that's how Social Blade does it. They truncate the last three significant digits. So it only will recognize when you get 1,000 subs. If you get 10 subs, it doesn't even note it. It only recognizes it gets rid of it, truncates the last three. So it'll be for every 1,000, then you'll notice. If you have only 1,000, then it'll be every 100. If you have 100, it'll be every 10. Okay. So when she says, oh, look, there's enough 1,000 subs, that just means that she's accumulated up to that point 1,000 more subs. It doesn't mean that she's bought them. And so stop accusing people of buying subs, because that's one of those things that's so easy to accuse, but difficult to prove and defend against. I've never bought a sub in my life. Not one. Zero. Never has happened. But if Katie Joy and her flying monkeys has said, oh, look, Steve's buying subs, never happened. Not once, ever. That's just stupid. I don't want fake subs. That's just dumb. But it's easy to throw those allegations out there, right? So my thing is, look, if you're not going to fall for this nonsense that I bought subs, don't fall for believing that Katie bought subs unless you have actual things you can show as evidence. Because I just think that plays into her narrative. Don't make rumors that you don't have reasonable evidence for, or that you can make argumentation for. And say that, oh, the evidence is that her subs went up by 1,000 is not evidence of buying subs. That's how Social Blade works. Okay. Suppose it's definitely not Katie Joy. LOL. I pay attention to my kids. Oh, burn. I don't lie. And I'm not too vain to get off YouTube if I needed surgery to fix my chin. Supposedly she has a chin implant. That's supposed to be fixed. I don't know, man, but I can tell you right now, she's not looking healthy. She's got some issues. I mean, I don't know what's going on with her. I can tell you right now, hygienically, it's nasty. Look, I understand people can skip a day or two, taking a shower, they're tired, I get it, right? Some days you just want to lounge all day long in your PJs. Sure, absolutely. Okay, first of all, it's 100 some odd degrees here almost every day. When you live in California, you change clothes frequently. Why? Because it sweats. Okay. Today wasn't too bad though. Hey, Alexa, what's temperature high today?
In India, it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
No, it's only 100 today. Yeah, only 100.
You can look for partly sunny.
Thank you, Alexis.
With a hot.
It's only 100 today. That's not bad. So, but it's very hot. Yes, people know I live in India, Coachella Valley. It comes up with something called something Summit, though. I don't know why. But yeah, I live in Coachella Valley. Not doxing. I'm not doxing myself. But my point is that something hygienically is not right with her. It's just not. It's I don't know. But again, I'm not going after any kind of personal stuff. It's just I'm making the observation that she doesn't seem well to me. That's all. And I don't mean mentally, because we all know she's not mentally well. Fahrenheit. Yes, it's adorable. Well, in Celsius, the hottest temperature it got here was 50 degrees Celsius. If you want to do the math, or if you can figure that out without looking it up, 50 degrees Celsius is 122 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the highest temperature has been here in the last, I think, 2 decades. It was hot. 122 Fahrenheit, 50 degrees Celsius is hot. We're talking like blistering. And I worked in an engine room, man. It got to 140 degrees one time when the AC went out, but it was still well in, it was probably 100 plus degrees just all the time. Some areas were, 120 degrees. But when the AC goes out in the engine room, it got up to like, I think on 140. Your stay time's like 5 minutes, something like that. You have to like log, did we log in? No, we didn't log in, but we basically let people know we're going in, right? So there's some kind of control point person, and you're like, okay, I'm going in. If you're not out within like the expected time, they have to come get you because you probably passed out from the heat, right? So if there's a casualty and you have to go fix something, you only have a few minutes to get that job done and then pass it off to the other person, which has happened in real time. It had happened on my ship. We had a lube oil rupture because somebody shifted the duplex lube oil strainer on the ship service turbo generator incorrectly, and it blew low pressure lube oil all over the lagging, which was on steam pipe. And if you know anything about the Navy, that's how the USS Forrestal caught on fire. And so we were down there 5 minutes at a time, cleaning up this lube oil off of the lagging, hoping it didn't flash over, and we all died. It's a hell of a feeling, by the way, in 140 degree heat, thinking, hey, at any time this could flash over and we're all dead. Yay, go military. Go military. True story. So, yeah, Saval, your hot water heater instead of 140. One thing you got to remember, though, water's denser than air, right? So even though you have 140 degree air and 140 degree water, 140 degree water, because it's denser, there's more thermal energy there. And so if there's more thermal energy, you're more likely to get burned off water than you are air, right? Stick your hand in 140 degree water. It's going to hurt a lot worse than 140 degree air. So, that's my thermodynamics training kicking in right there. Yeah, sauna 140 degrees. You know what? But I don't like, that's too hot. 140 degree sauna, I think is just, I don't like that hot water. But if you stay in there for a long period of time, it's going to burn your skin. You stay in 140 degree dry heat, it's not really going to burn your skin, but you are going to probably pass out from heat exhaustion. If it gets worse, it's called heat stroke, which can kill you. And you'll probably get dehydrated. And that's the one thing that does kill people when I'm at. They go hiking in the mountains. I'm not too far from the Santa Rosa Mountains and the San Cagronio Pass and the Palm Spring Aerial. And so if you go out to these mountains up there and you don't bring sufficient amount of water, you will probably end up dying. This has happened every year. Every year, hikers get heat stroke and heat exhaustion out here, and they end up dying because they don't understand you need much more fluids than you're normally used to. You need at least 2 liters a day of water. Probably you have to bring multiple liters of water on a hike. If you do not have sufficient water and you're sweating, it just creeps up on you, and you get lightheaded. You fall down, you pass out, you end up dying in the sun, and they don't find you, right? Annie says, I worked in a plant that was 120 to 130 degrees inside. It's not a pleasant experience. I agree with you. That's about the average for my plant. In certain areas, most of us try to stand underneath the AC. They're big. I mean, these massive ducts, they're like, I think they're probably 20 some odd inches across or something like that. They're pretty big ducts. But yeah, working at 120 to 30 degree plant is not pleasant. I did this for 4 years. Never will again. Never will again. But I tell you, it was the best shape of my life, right? But anyways, all right, I got to wrap this up. I do got to get going. I want to end this by 3. Any last minute questions for me before I go? I do want to thank all you guys for listening. I do want to appreciate all the people that have become members of the channel, Patreons of the channel. I do recognize everybody that supports me still, very much so. I know there's been a lot of shenanigans out there. A lot of people have been lying about me. I just passed it all off. Look, they're not going to get rid of me. I work now. I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I do this because I want to help you all. And if people want to donate to this channel, become a member, I appreciate it immensely. It does go to, necessities and things of that nature. I going shopping tonight, grocery shopping. So I use I pay basically my Patreon, my AdSense revenue, and what's the other one? I don't really have any other revenue stream now. Yeah, I think the only ones from online are my Patreon and my AdSense revenue. That goes all my necessities. I pay rent with that. I buy food with that, and everything else from work I use for savings, and I go from there. So, I do appreciate it. I really, honest to God, do. You guys don't even know how much love and support I've had given to me, and I'm not gonna go emotional or anything like that. I'm gonna end this on a high note, but thinking about it often, I really do appreciate the people that have seen through the bullshit. I mean, you guys are the ones that have been putting it out there that this woman has harmed multiple people, and that's all I care about. I want people to know that this woman is somebody who's harming content creators. She's falsely DMCA'd content creators. She's falsely DMCA'd me, and then lied about it, saying she's never falsely DCMA'd anybody. Bullshit. I have it. I have the evidence. I literally have the strike from YouTube, and it says on there, from Without a Crystal Balls Limited Liability Corporation. That's an outright lie when she says a strike, and that was not my apology video. Or her apology video. I'm not talking about that. This was a separate one that she struck merely because it talked about her. Yeah. So. Oh wait, that's soup temperatures. I don't think a sauna. I think a sauna needs to be a little cooler than that. I don't know. 140 seems. I don't know. Well, no. I mean, you can have a sauna like 150, right? So I maybe that's low end 150. So that's when you get hotter than that. That's too hot, right? I mean, that's just. I had a sauna where I was at, like an actual sauna, and the heating elements, they can get super hot. I mean, they can get up to 190 some odd degrees, probably 180, and you're just dying in there, right? You're just absolutely dying. I was thinking of a what are they called? A sauna pool thingy. What is the temperature of the water of that? Do you guys know? Yeah, it doesn't matter. But that will burn you worse than an actual sitting in a sauna. Right? A hot tub, right? A hot tub will. Let's see. Let me look at the temperature of a hot tub. I'm curious. Hot tub temp runs 100 to 102. There you go. I was going to 140 seemed awfully hot for a hot tub because that's water, and of course that's going to be a lot more dense. 102 degree hot tub is way worse for you heat wise than 100 degree temperature air because again the water's more denser and you have a lot more thermal energy. So, 110 Celsius is 230 degree Fahrenheit, which is ridiculously hot. All right, guys, got to end this. Got to go. It's 3:00. I appreciate it. Love you all. If you got any questions, please leave it in the comment section. Please share these videos if you really want to support. And you don't want to become a member of the channel, and I get that. But I appreciate if you do become a member of the channel. Or you can donate after the fact. I do have comment things on. In the comment section, you can actually leave a donation, and I will read those off each stream. If I've had, I think, one. But I do appreciate those. They're like a super chat, but they're for comments. I will read that in the very next stream. But if you really wanted to support in a different way, share these videos. Share all these videos on social media. Share Nikki's videos on social media. Share Maki Media's videos on social media. Share Tia's videos on social media. Share Aaron's videos on social media. That's how you do it. Is share and ask people to watch to get this information. All right. And with that, guys, I'm going to end this. Thank you very much. And I will see you on Friday where I am going to be having a conversation with a lawyer on what sovereign citizens believe. Sovereign citizens believe on the Non Sequitur Show. Good night.